Welcome to another TwinSpires video preview on the road to the Kentucky Derby. The Los Alamitos Futurity will take place on Saturday afternoon. 25 years ago, trainer Bob Baffert earned the first of his 13 wins in this particular race. He's won 7 of the last 8. Nick Tammaro here, joined by James Scully to take a look at this Los Alamitos Futurity. James, we've got 5 of them ready to roll on Saturday afternoon.
Yes, we do. And with the threesome in there, sometimes when you get like a threesome like this from the same trainer, all 3 horses have speed, it can be a little bit difficult to guess the pace scenario because you just can't envision them all going head to head. I would think they have a little bit of a strategy in place. But yeah, I mean, it looks like he definitely has at least the 2 top contenders in this race. And then we have one of the other 2 that are in there as a maiden. So really just one horse that from the Tim Yak Team Barn, Practical Move, that is taking on the formidable Baffert trio.
Yeah, let's start with the 5 Arabian Lion, who comes in with a maiden victory first time out, earned at Santa Anita, and then he was a very highly regarded favorite in what ended up being a pretty loaded one other than on the Breeders' Cup Friday undercard, a race ultimately won by Giant Mischief, who'll be one of the choices in Saturday night's Springboard Mile at Remington. Did you think that Arabian Lion disappointed at all in getting beaten that day?
Yeah, I thought a little bit. I mean, I thought he lost some, it looked like after leading wire to wire, you can just see those fractions in that race and watch how he did at 21 and change, 44 and change. It looked like to me, Nick, that the game plan was to sit if somebody else wanted to lead. Irad Ortiz, I didn't think was really hustling him. He always thought he had the pace setter. And when Giant Mischief made that move up the inside, and Irad asked Arabian Lion for run, it looked like to me, he sort of collared him in upper stretch, had every chance to get by him, and he was losing ground in the final like 16th of a mile, or at least in deep stretch to the winner.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that he resurfaces here. I kind of wondered, and I think you alluded to it, that maybe distance-wise, despite having a pretty route-oriented pedigree, this could be a horse who tops out somewhere around 7/8. He'll have to negotiate that additional 3/16 of a mile off that 7-furlong try. Do held some respect, of course, for Giant Mischief, the winner of that race. One of Baffert's other 2 is Fort Bragg, who broke his maiden 2 starts back, but was disqualified for interference in the stretch. And the horse who was placed first was Practical Move, who you mentioned before. Fort Bragg came right back and broke his maiden last time out. You mentioned kind of the jockeying, literally and figuratively, early that we're going to see from these 3 Baffert trainees. Maybe the blinkers off. They're hoping for Fort Bragg to rate.
I think that's the game plan 100%. I think the other 2, I think Arabian Lion's probably your most likely pace setter, given the way that race went last time. John Velasquez will just send him. But you add Flavian Pratt, you take the blinkers off. You can even see that work tab, Nick. It looks like Baffert's eased back a little bit on those works. And the thing with Fort Bragg is he's got to get his head on straight. Maybe he won't get it on straight on Saturday, but he's been, I think, extremely immature in both those starts. I thought in his debut, obviously he blew the turn. And then when Practical Move went to the rail, he was just drifting in and almost ran Practical Move right into the rail. I mean, the jock had to check. And then he just took off again like he was shot out of a cannon, once the jock got him straightened out. So, I thought he finished a lot of horse in that. He was just green as it comes. And then last time, definitely was a race where I just thought he was shaking his turn. He broke on top. He had a speed rider, and I thought he was tossing his head and was ranked throughout stages of that race. So even though he wins by a narrow margin and the runner-up made a run at him, I still thought he was just comfortably holding him safe in the end.
Perhaps the biggest change that takes place here is Flavian Pratt taking over in the irons. As you mentioned, he'll be aboard this son of Tappet for the first time. He does seem to have a few quirks to him that need to be ironed out before he can be taken seriously as a player in any graded stake races. Carmel Road is the 3rd Baffert trainee. I thought his maiden win 2 starts back was very, very good. And then he was obviously saddled with a big task last time out in the Breeders' Futurity, landing in a 14-horse field with the far outside post as he drew in off the AE list and ultimately chased a supersonic pace that really took its toll on the majority of the front-running types in that field. I think this is the horse whose form might be just a little bit dirtied up. He might actually be the best bet of the 3 Baffert horses.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Just like his stablemates, he took a lot of money in his first two races. Odds on in the first one, 6-5 in the second one, and he won that second start, stretching out to 2-turn mile. He did it the right way that day. By Quality Road out of Unbridled Song Mare. Looks like this horse has some future to him, going 2 turns. I think he has some upside to him. Whether it's hard for me to envision if he gets a trip where he's like sitting second, perhaps, but if he's out there and running like perhaps alongside American Lion and he's still in the mix at the top of the stretch, he'd have a chance to pull at least a minor upset in that scenario, I think.
When all is said and done, where are you landing in this Los Alamitos Futurity?
I'm going to land on Fort Bragg. I'm going to give him the edge over Arabian Lion this Saturday. Now, I do expect Fort Bragg to take back off the speed. I'm hoping he'll have his head on together this time after showing so much immaturity in his last 2 starts. But I'm going to look for the speed to come back to him and him finish up fastest of all. So I'm going to give him a slight edge over his stablemate.
That's an extended look at the Los Alamitos Futurity. I'm going to pick Carmel Road, but you can get all my picks and videos on TwinSpires.com and on the app for the Los Alamitos card on Saturday. They're going to close up their 6-day December meet on Sunday. Of course, looking forward to Santa Anita opening on December 26th. That's Horseplayer Christmas. You can catch James's work all over TwinSpires.com. James, I really appreciate it. Good luck, my friend.
Yeah, happy holidays to you, Nick. It was a great time.
Same to all of you, and be sure you're playing along with us at TwinSpires.com. Ton of promotions available, and for you to get the most bang for your buck wagering wise. For James Scully, Nick Tammaro here. Until next time, best of luck.